What's up, everybody? It's your boy Emceemur here, and welcome back to another video. And today we're taking a fantabulous look at yet another great release from our friends at NIS America. That's right, we're talking about Labyrinth Legend. Alright, and this is a game that I have been excited to take a look at. And it's been released already on mobile and on Steam. But yeah, for Nintendo Switch is what we're getting coming up momentarily, and I'm very excited about that because that's exactly where I would want to play a game like this, an action RPG. Is it good? I think that it is. There's a number of things I can tell you about it just looking at it, but we got to dive a little bit deeper than that. I want to thank our friends at NIS America for getting us a review copy of this game so that we can take a look at it and get ready for launch. Take a look at this Labyrinth Legend right now. So here we go, Labyrinth Legend. This game has been out on Steam since summer of 2020, but it's new to Nintendo Switch, and to me, so I'll be doing this review from the perspective of a newcomer. But this review will also serve to show you what the Switch version brings to the table. At a glance, you can tell this was a concept from someone whose favorite game was Link to the Past. Slicing through grass patches for coins, it's practically cliche at this point, but hey, this is a time-tested framework for an action role-playing adventure, right? You get a handful of skins and 3 classes to choose from when making your character. And this game begins hitting you right away with multiple improvements on the initial concept, including but not limited to couch co-op, what? And the befriending of monsters. Yes, please. You've got familiar equipment like swords and your trusty boomerang, but this is a straight up looter, dude. No sooner am I in a dungeon than I'm scoring better armor, a spear with amped damage, a better bow, rings, all the while knowing items can be enhanced through various means back in the village. The dungeons are randomly generated each time you enter a map area, so you'll be doing multiple playthroughs of each in order to grind things out. And the enemies' levels scale with you as you enter new realms, which keeps the action going. The general store sells upgrades to your backpack, potion capacity, mana level, and much more. This ends up being a multitude of ways to round out your character, and a realization that grinding is an absolute must. The weapon shop has a constantly changing inventory, and it's a place to sell your unwanted loot. The blacksmith will upgrade your gear in exchange for cash and with use of the ore you mine in dungeons. Weapons and armor all have various levels of rarity, and by extension, multiple types of available upgrades to dabble in. And these weapons! When building an ideal loadout for a situation, you have to consider more than just damage dealt. You have attack range, you have speed, and you have stat adjustments from different armors, all of which end up altered through upgrades, and all of which contribute to your ultimate build. You also have skills, weapon techniques, unlockable through the general store. You know, I feel like I'm really jumping around here, but this game has a lot more depth than I expected, and, well, it's a pleasant surprise. The boat in the village takes you to Monster Island, where an NPC will locate friendly monsters for you in exchange for magic ingredients. These monsters provide various types of support, and they level up by your side. They can level while left on the island too, just not as quickly. But this does allow them to still develop while you focus on your most desirable monsters. You're limited on how many can accompany you. And I love that you can name them. This whole pet feature really rounds out a nice edge on the overall role-playing component. My vampire bat's name is Batty. Is that original? Not very. But Batty doesn't care. He's gonna buff my attack and my HP regardless. As a character with a fighter class, I'm still able to use magic by equipping runes of different elements, also upgradable, and although I haven't played as a magic user yet, it seems like all the classes end up well-rounded in development through the implementation of various loadouts. You ultimately decide the balance and overall outcome of your builds. The boss battles are not pushovers and require a lot of strategy in regards to your loadout that you take into the fight. They have inventive patterns, and those can change on a dime when the boss is angry or injured. This giant tree here slapped me around, so I'm up in the blacksmith now and I'm buffing my new armor's defense stats. I can also improve my magic rings, all of which currently provide me additional defense buffs. I'm getting ready. My weapons are adequate for the fight, but I want to take less damage. So again, the bosses are tough, but not unreasonably so, and that makes the fights unique. I realize co-op play may really shift this difficulty into the realm of easy, but from the single-player perspective, the game does seem accurately balanced in everything. Boss difficulty, area difficulty with the scaling enemy levels, and the scaling quality of the loot drops. This game has already come out on Steam and on mobile, and I disagree with some of the reviews I'm reading. This is an action RPG, but it's definitely roguelike. Most of these cats aren't old enough to remember actually buying a copy of Rogue at a service merchandise store in the 80s. Yeah, I've done that. The generated dungeons keep the grinding fresh, and the graphics are obviously retro-styled, so let's don't compare it to God of War or anything. There's a simplicity to the animations, but also a lot of detail in the graphics, kicking up different dust on different types of turf, and rays of sun, and shadows of clouds overhead. I like what I'm seeing here, and the soundtrack is downright cozy. This game locks in all the comforts of a cherished vintage game and effectively delivers on advanced concepts like the dungeon generation and robust Diablo-esque loot system. So to wrap all this up, this is an action RPG done right. If it has a weak point at all, that would be the lack of a real storyline. I mean, it has one, it's just not a work of Shakespearean legend or anything. You know, land is in trouble, hero shows up with a sword, and so on and so forth. I find that a storyline isn't what you'll be here for. It's the looting and the fun gameplay. The framework of this game is the remarkable thing about it, and through possible DLCs and even sequels, it would be an easy thing to build more lore around. So, Labyrinth Legend, yeah, it's a yes from me. And it's available today in your Nintendo Switch eShop for only $14.99. So grab it now and start your adventure. Well, there you have it. Labyrinth Legend on Nintendo Switch now, available for download in the eShop for the low introductory price of only $14.99. As far as a physical release, I don't know of one yet, but you can bet this is the kind of game that gets that on down the line, maybe with some delicious extras. I don't know, a game with this much going on inside of it, there's just so much opportunity there for extras, physical extras, you know, cool things to commemorate a physical launch of a game like this. But yeah, I love what I saw there. I don't just like it, I love what I saw. The game, as I stated, just had so much more depth than I was really expecting. I don't mean that in a bad way, like I expected it to be lacking in any way. I was just really blown away by how much detail and how much there is to do in the game. It just really has a lot going on in a way that kept me wanting to keep on playing. One more round, one more dungeon floor, one more boss, just, you know, grinding for that next thing, the loot system. And I mean, I'm a little biased because I'm a sucker for looters, and that's what this is, but yeah, I mean, who isn't? I mean, that's a really cool system that this thing has working here. It gets all those nice nostalgia feels while very much doing its own thing, doing some new things, bringing new spins on classic framework. So I absolutely love it. Once again, I want to thank our friends at NIS America for letting us take a look at this game. And you know, I want to know what you think about what you saw here today. Do you like this game? Have you played it, you know, before other versions? Are you planning on buying this version for your Nintendo Switch? Let me know what you think about all that in the comments below. You know that I love getting a conversation going with you right here on the Emceemur Show, something that we do a lot of. Hope that you liked this video. Hope you're going to drop a like on this video. Share it with a friend on social media or wherever you hang out. Most importantly, if you haven't already done so, I hope you're going to subscribe to the Emceemur Show. Be a part of our nation because we're rising up all the fantastic things we do right here on the show. You need to be a part of it. Make sure that you smash that notification bell. You're always the first to know when new content goes live. Content just like this fantabulous game review right here. 2022 may be a very big year for releases. Who knows what's in store? Who knows how great it'll be? But you can bet that we're going to take a look at a lot of that right here on the show. Can't wait. Emceemur signing off for this fantastic episode. Now we'll see each and every one of you again next time.